All right, so my name is Matthew Kronk. Today I'll be talking through applying for PT school and getting into your dream school. So I think the easiest way to talk through this is more of a story with a timeline from when I applied in April of 2019 through actually getting accepted in February 2020. And giving you guys a step-by-step guide on how to accomplish that. So the first step in April of that year when I applied is just deciding to apply, making the decision to say, come any issue, I am going to finish this through and apply for school. Just making that decision can make everything else so much smoother versus teetering on it. Just choose to apply, and then you're through. You're in it, and it's going through this process that you'll really finish it out. The next step is this is May 2019. Determine what schools you're interested in. I think I applied I was interested in 11. And then this process just helped me narrow it down to say, okay, this one doesn't really fit my needs or doesn't fit the goals that I want. Drop it down to 7. And then eventually I only applied to four schools. So really determine what schools you're interested in. And this is all in this document here. I just put it in the video. But GPA requirements, observation hours, ensuring you have the appropriate amount of time in each setting that school wants, and the appropriate amount of hours for the students that usually get accepted into that program. The GRE scores of accepted students, and if the GRE is even required for the schools you're interested in, because a lot of schools I think are starting to phase it out. So it might not even be a need. And if it is a need, we'll talk through it more, but it might not be as necessary to get great scores on it. And then the cost. Is the cost of the school appropriate for you? Percentage of out-of-state, percentage of in-state, whatever meets your needs on that piece. Interviews. Yes or no? Do they interview? References, who they want as a reference. Is it PT? Is it a professor? Figuring out to make sure that you have the right letters of rec for that. Program due dates, putting a timeline on it. So you're starting this application, you're getting everything ready, and by the end of November, whenever it is that submission is due, putting a timeline on when you need to accomplish these goals by, and what do you need to finish everything by. That's step 2. So just figuring out what schools you're interested in. So you have decide to apply, determine what schools you're interested in. Next is letters of recommendation, figuring out who you would want to be for your letters of rec, and choosing people that really know you as a person, know you as an individual, and how you'll benefit the profession of physical therapy. It's genuine relationships at the end of the day. People that you really have a great connection with, whether it's a professor, a PT. They know your tenacity and your interest in this field, and so they can showcase that in that letter for you. June of 2019 is when I took the GRE. I think studying for it, I only took about a month. I didn't really put too much time into it. I'm not that great at standardized tests either. I did pretty average, I want to say. And like I said, I don't think it weighs that much into schools and their decision of who they'd take in the programs. The next step, so late June, early July 2019, PTCAS application opens. So you don't want to start uploading before it opens because it's a new cycle. I think I've heard of people that started doing that early, and then they had to re-put everything in. So you want to start uploading info after it opens. And when it opens, starting that primary essay. So there's a main essay that gets sent out to every school. You want to make sure that is pristine and spotless. So at the end of the day, at this point and throughout the process, to be honest, it's like building a brick house. And you want to make sure each brick is laid out perfectly before moving on to the next one. So you get that one piece really solid, and then you're on to the next. And if you build that up brick by brick, eventually you'll finish the whole application with the whole house, and it looks spotless. If you set it up in that thought process. So finish the primary essay, review previous experiences, work, awards in college, high school, anything you can think of. Take a trip down memory lane, look through your old photos, figure it out, what you've done in the past and what you can actually put into that application to make yourself that much better of a candidate. And school-specific essays, same idea. Take time on these. Really make sure that each one is set up really well before moving on to the next. And then you get into, that's a few months. So this is the next step. It takes a little time, and by the end of that, around September, November, whenever your submission deadlines are, that's the end of that process. And you build that up and you send it out and you wait for an email to hopefully have an interview. And when you get those interviews, so I think I applied for 4 schools. I got interviewed for 3. And when you get those interviews, the biggest thing is being yourself. They want someone they would want as a PT. Showcase the individual you are and why you would be a great physical therapist. So it's not about being the most knowledgeable, it's about being genuine. And if you really can just showcase the person that you are and how you would benefit the profession, it's gonna take it there regardless. And it doesn't hurt to have a practice interview too. Like have a couple, like some schools that maybe you're interested in and they're not your dream school, but having those practice interviews to say, okay, this is what I need to improve on, and recognizing that and learning from those experiences. I know the first interview I did really bad, and I learned from that experience and figured out what I needed to do to be that much better in the next interview, and understanding that you don't have to be perfect in those cases, but you learn from it, and that's what really matters. And then hopefully when you get to your dream school interview and you have all the practice and all the reps and understanding, when you go through that interview, it's just smooth. It's a really great connection with that staff. And at the end of this step-by-step process, the last step is you get accepted. You get accepted in your PT school, and then that's where the real fun gets started and where you really get rolling into the profession. So I hope this helps a lot of people, and if you have questions or comments, reach out. Good luck.